Welcome to Sweet Spot Sports. Hopefully you can hear me. Got a new racket to do. This is Dean's racket. It breaks a lot of strings. This is a Victor Hypernano X Air. Looks like an older racket. He breaks a lot of strings, Dean. But he is the biggest hitter in our club. So kind of expected, I guess. I'll be using BG65 titanium. He seems to like that. And I'll be doing it at 27 pound for him. So I've got my machine set up. Do the mains at 26 and the crosses at 28, giving us an average of our 27. Just check the grommets, see if there's anything that needs particular changing. Done quite a few of Dean's rackets. He must have 20 rackets. Done quite a few of them, but not this one before. I'm thinking that one can probably go, I reckon. Yeah, that one's got to go. This does look like an older racket. I don't reckon this grommet has ever been changed. Any of them. It's actually quite hard. It's funny, changing grommets, often the slowest part of the whole bloody process. Getting these bloody things out. It's not always easy. Okay, I'll put some around there. Did one once, I couldn't get it out. It was down here further on the racket, and it broke off and it just rattled in the racket forever then. Bit annoying. You're right back. Oh, here he is. No, you come in.
Hi.
You come in.
Took so long.
Oh, you're right. Hello.
Just sold one.
Oh, good job. Come and get a look at it.
Yes, it's a pension though.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So my email for Larissa for the payout.
Yeah.
So she's got everything except the MTA form.
Which is in the car?
I can go sign that.
Yep.
And the registration papers for the trade.
Yeah, that one I don't have.
He's got, he told me what he did yesterday. So it's all good.
So in there, there's two folders. The white one is the cardboard one. That's the one that comes back.
Yep.
The forward one goes with him. And registration papers are in there. Yeah, pretty much everything is in there. The MTA form is in there. Yeah, and then obviously the registration papers.
Good luck. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank
How's
you.
Libby going?
Yes, you're right. Pretty good, isn't it? Yeah, it's still leaks. And on that angle there, it's just water running back.
I used to bring my motor off outside and had a big drum at the front there. Anyway,
Very cool. All right, mate. Thank you. Catch you next week. Thanks for helping.
thank you for your help.
No, all good.
See ya.
See ya. Bit of interruption there, sorry about that. Life goes on. Now, where's this grommet I'm getting out slowly? I could find it. Gotcha. Now that was a double one, so I need to find a big grommet, a wide one. Stick that in there. It's pretty rare I have to replace grommets. I don't normally charge for it either, but it's not the grommets, they cost nothing. It's the friggin' time it takes to get them out that you've got to allow for. Nice, that'll do. Alright, we'll put them away. They go everywhere, then they go everywhere. Okay, so it's not really a lesson, but you know, if you're interested, see the Victor logo on the bottom, the V always up. So go there with the V up. Wow, they are tight in the bottom of that racket. This will be interesting. So I typically just nip up the side ones first with no real pressure on them, because ideally I don't want the string holes where the clamps are, because that's just a pain when you're trying to get the strings through. So that's not too bad there. So the two grommets, the two first holes at the throat here, really close together. I use these load spreaders just to ease some tension on the racket, some pressure on the racket. And thankfully they're a little bit narrower than the clamps, and that's allowed me to get in there okay. There, that was pretty good. Just a bit of tension on everything, make sure it's not moving. Yeah, that's good. Alright, got my BG65 titanium. I have to get some more, starting to run out. Typically do 5 and then just a little bit for fun. To get the right length. And then I check the string. Make sure there's no obvious imperfections in the string. I've had a couple of runs where there has been imperfections and that hasn't been excellent, but that one seems okay. But I think that might have been user error too. I've been clamping the two strings, pulling the first tension together in this in the string puller tension head, and I reckon having them in the tension head, two strings in the tension head at the same time, has caused issue with the string. I've actually had to throw some away. I reckon it's user error, not a fault with the string. I'll be right now because I won't pull them together. Right, so we start with them nice and even at this end, and then we can pull them through. So we've got even on both sides. I always use a 4-knot pattern. Right, so the first thing I have to do is clamp one string, so it's being held. Go. Clamp that one, clamp that. Put a starting clamp on that as well, just in case there's some slippage. I expect there shouldn't be, but you never know, so we're just going to put the starting clamp there. When I pull this one nice and tight, that will come up and it's got something to pull against. Hopefully you can see that there. Yep. So to kick things off, we just do 4 on one side, and then we go over to the other side. It just gives us a bit of room for our clamps and stuff to work. It's a bit cold out here, nothing's moving very nicely. I don't do any pre-stretch or anything like that. I don't know, there's a lot of benefit in that. Maybe that's more of a tennis thing. And there's a speed too, there's a constant pull. But, so that's 3 on one side. Some of the more high-end machines have got like a little trigger on the tension head to, when you sort of, as soon as you put some tension on it, it pulls. But this one I've got a foot switch for, which I quite like, seems to work well. This does have a button on it if you're not using the foot switch, but I've never really liked that as much. I did try it for a while, but it was good for me. Alright, so that's 4 on that side. Now we go back to the first side, or the other side. Retension that. Take off our starting clamp. Release that one. Come back up here and pin it there. Now we're going to do 4 on this side, and then we will move one by one, side to side. Anyone watching? Hey everyone. Anyone saying, anyone play badminton? How on earth did you come across this bloody type of content, I wonder? I just do this in my garage. If you wonder why there's crap everywhere, it's because I'm in my garage and it's not really a I'm not going to get a rich string in rackets, let's say that. So I'm not going to set up any sort of special space for it or anything. Just come out here, quietly go about my little business. And right, this is the fourth one, fourth main on this side. I'd love to buy one of those really flash high-end machines, but they're so much money. Oh, that's interesting. And for the little bit of stringing I do, I am going to try and grow this little business a little bit over the next while though. I've just changed the name of it from Sweet Spot Stringing to Sweet Spot Sports. Because I want to get into tennis a bit, which would be cool, but I also want to do some apparel. Got some fun designs, particularly, I want to do badminton apparel, not so much tennis, but because badminton's my sport. But yeah, I think I might do some apparel, t-shirts and so on, just for some fun. So I'm just working on getting a website going. But I don't want to do a store in the website because stores are too expensive to run on websites. So I'm just going to do it, send me a message, send me the money and I'll send you the stuff. But first thing first, I've got to get some stuff. Yeah, little bits here and there. We'll just keep chipping away at this. So we're about to come across the very first little issue, well not an issue, but the first thing we need to counteract is at the top of the racket we are now going to have a covered hole. So this is going to pull up tight and cover up one of the holes, and I need to be able to get a string through it later. So what I do, it usually works, just grab a bit of spare string from another stringing, stick that through there like that. So now I've got something to pull on to move that a little bit out of the way to be able to get another string through it later. So I'll do it on the other side as well. And the last one I did, I forgot to do this. It makes getting the other string through really difficult. When I first started stringing, I was like, oh, where do the crosses go? Where do the mains go? And you know, that sort of thing. But it's actually kind of obvious once you've done a few, you can quite easily see which are the mains and which are the crosses. And the newer rackets, like you get an old racket, it's a bit harder, but the newer rackets, it's really obvious because they point in the right direction and the shared holes, they're bigger, they put bigger grommets in them, so that makes it easier. No, it's all pretty cool. Right, it's the same thing I did before with that extra little string there to got another covered hole here. bare string through there as well. Now move that out of the way. Not anymore. Yep, there's another bit. It's funny, under these LED lights, the bright yellow string's really easy to work with because it really shines. It's cool. Alright, so we're at the end nearly, at the last two. Now for these, I go backwards. So I go to the outside one first. Someone's replaced in that one. And then back on the inside. Just takes a little bit of pressure off the outside of the racket, where it's most fragile. Oh, the other thing I do while I was checking those grommets at the start is just checking for any damage on the racket, cracks, because it's important that the owner knows that if we're going to restring it, there might be a problem. I had one the other day actually that had a cracked racket, just finest little crack, but it was definitely there. He was happy for me to go ahead with the stringing on it. He's been using it, it hasn't broken, so that's pretty cool. Alright, so I'm going to pull these two together on the outside and I'm going to increase the tension. So I'm going to put the, what I would normally use with the crosses, I'm just going to increase the tension on the outside for these last two pulls because I'm pulling two. Normally tie up on hole number 6. That's the same for this racket. Bigger grab. Move the string out of the way too quickly for this one. Oh, this is not going to be fun, this one. I can tell already. That. 6. Where's my grappling hook? There we go. So I got this hook, pretty important part of the kit. Sometimes you've got to pull these strings out of the way so you can get the string through. That was much easier. Sometimes you just push it with your hand and it's okay, but other times, oh shit, around the handle. Damn it. Cool, that would have been fun. Not realising that and then trying to tension it. Use the parnell knot to tie off. So it's basically just a little hitch. You do another one, but on the way back through, you go through the loop you just left behind. There we go. Don't use a, what do you call it? Don't use a starting clamp to pull on it. You do too much damage to the strings and you'll break them. I just hold the tension there while I release the clamp. And that's not too bad. It's actually pretty good. Right. See, I use way too much string. Get all of that. I can probably use less. But who wants to run out, right? Right, same on this side. This one. Hold that one. Hold 6. You just work with the way the string goes through the hole. holding it. Right, that's our mains. Put that off. That's our mains done. Peel off some for the 2, 3, 4, a bit for the crosses. Right, so number 8 is where we're going to start. Where our first knot's going. Get that through. Looks like it's going through. There we go. That's number 8. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. Do a starting knot now, or you can use your clamps and string a bit and then come back and do that. I'll play that by ear typically, depending on how big the hole is. If it's a bigger hole, then I'll clamp it and string a bit and come back to it. But this is a fairly small shared hole, so the knot should be okay. And the other thing I've started doing now is a third loop on the parnell knot, just to make the knot a little bit bigger, to get it to stay in place without pulling through the grommet. And then our first cross will be number 9. Okay. I always start with an over, but it doesn't matter, do whatever you want. Just feather the string up and down the mains there, just so there's not too much tension, too much rubbing in one spot, which can be an issue for the longevity of the, damage to the string. We definitely don't want to do that. Now I'm not going to tension that one yet. I'm going to go into number 10. Oh, smooth. That's nice. This one's an over as well. This one's an under first. Under first. Hello, mate.
Sorry to bother you again.
You're good. What's up?
You printed out an invoice for that car.
Yep.
Do you want me to drop that off?
No, he's got that. That's fine.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, I have printed out some service history for that car. It's just come in. I requested it earlier.
Oh, yeah.
So, because they don't have a service book.
Yes, they don't. That's right. Yep.
I thought it might be.
He would like that, I reckon.
Yeah.
Why don't you just email it to him?
Sorry, what is?
Why don't you just email it to him?
I suppose I can email that to him.
Yeah, why don't you just do that? He'd like that.
Yeah, because I have printed it out, so it's on my desk. If I can drop it off as well, doesn't matter.
Nah, just email it to him. I reckon that's fine, mate. You can if you want, but
yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. Cool.
I have got the invoice as well. I thought you want me to deliver that, but that's okay.
No, I don't need that. That's all good. He's got that.
Perfect.
We're all
That's
good.
all good.
Cheers. Thank you, mate.
Easy done. Sorry to bother you.
Nah, all good. Thanks, Hank.
See ya.
See you, mate. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, another interruption. There we go. These are going through nice and easy. Right, so I've made a bit of a start here. I always want to try and string one ahead if we can, because they get tight and it gets hard to string. Weave one ahead. So now we've got my second cross done. And I'm going to pull on that one, not on the first one, just to protect that knot a bit as well. There we go. Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful. This is going swimmingly. Shouldn't speak too soon because now I've got the first one that's going to be hard to get through. Oops, there's a microphone there. Any actual badminton players on here? Just out of interest? The description says tennis racket, but it's not. It's a badminton racket. No, it's AI's done that one for me. I will do tennis rackets, but I haven't done many as yet. But I'm actually looking forward to getting into that. I reckon if I start to get some customers through the I might just notice an error. That's what happens when you get distracted. That's no good. That's going to have to come out. Damn it. Thankfully I haven't tensioned that one yet. What happens when you get distracted? Thankfully an easy fix, eh? Better. Sometimes when the tip of the string gets a bit soft after it's been used a bit, it's a little bit hard to push through the holes. I've got these really pointy nose pliers. I can get into tight spots with them. So that's cool. Alright. It's not going very fast today, unfortunately, with the distractions and the interruptions. Some rackets will let you do these really easy, and other rackets just won't. No, I'm not playing games. I'm not playing the game. Can use an awl to open up the hole a bit. I don't like doing that. It just makes things a little bit untidy and risk damaging the frame and risk damaging the string with the spiky ball. There we go. Through it down. Feel that's a bit tighter pulling the string through. It's because those shared holes are quite tight in this racket. It gets easy here for a while now because the holes aren't shared. You want to clamp as close to the frame as practical to keep the most amount of tension in it all. Sometimes though you've got to make a little bit of a concession there, especially towards the top. You just need to move some of those strings, and if there's a clamp in the way, you can't move them. Partway through there so I can get that end quickly. Afterwards, you don't want to be spending all the time feeding the string back and forth looking for this end. So I just hold it in that hand while I'm bringing the string through and I'm ready to go with it. Those more premium high-end machines are much faster than this. Pulling and more process and stuff, but for the little bit that I do and a little bit that I charge, this is fine. Apparently it self-calibrates this puller. I don't know how you'd ever measure it anyhow if you wanted to test it. Yeah, instructions say it self-calibrates, so it must always be right. Glad I found that error at the start. It would be terrible to find it now. You cut them all out and start again. Somebody's here. Another flaming interruption. Yeah, where was that up to? Just want to be left alone. Now the Yonex way with the clamps is to release the bottom clamp first. I'm not really sure what difference it makes, but that's what they reckon. Which is a shame because these clamps here, if you release the top and it drops down, then it releases the bottom anyhow. It's kind of cool, but to do it the proper Yonex way, that's not the way they want you to do it. So release the bottom clamp first. I think that's what I mostly do. Don't really think about it that much, to be honest. Yeah, I think so. I think that's what I did. One of the things I really like about stringing rackets, and they're kind of all the same now, is the process. It's all just process. Just follow the process. Do this, then do that, then do this, then do that, and it all just works. I've got another one to do as well, but that one can probably just wait. And the other thing is, if you do get your string done by me, if you break a string inside 2 weeks, I'll just do it again for nothing. Assuming you haven't been out there hitting rocks with it. But yeah, I'll do it. No. But it's funny with tennis rackets though, when you do a tennis racket, you start at the top for your crosses and work down. But with a badminton racket, with your crosses, you start at the bottom and work up. Don't know why that would be, but it's a thing. See, this is, I made a bit of a bluey. Actually, I can get away from it. Help myself a bit there though. So I've got another shared hole here. And these ones are typically tricky because it's always right where the bracket is, where the clamp, the side clamp is. So getting in there can be a bit tricky. If you're going to pull on the strings, you want to pull it towards the point of the racket where it's going. So pulling it towards this tip here. That's good, didn't need too much pressure there. Because that last one went through easy, I wonder if I can do this without pulling on the string. I wonder if there's enough room. No, I don't reckon there is. that's not going to go. Nailed it. I feel these ones get a bit tighter on the shared holes. Oof. Oh, I made a blue ear. Remember I said about the whole not wanting to covered holes? Well, I got through, that's all right. There's another covered hole I didn't put a grabby string on. Can be a bit tricky. With trying not to get strings crossed on the outside of the frame. Sometimes you can't avoid it. Well, I can't. But yeah, ideally you don't want strings crossed over. Probably just for aesthetics, it doesn't look that good. But I'm getting better at avoiding it. But I think it might be good luck, not good management. Must be some science to towards the top of the racket. It's always a little bit different with the shared holes and stuff. There must be some sort of science to it all. Right, got my first of the covered holes. Get through, yeah, good one. Nice and easy. Good. Alright, so I'm at the last two. So like I did with the mains, I do the top and then come back down for the side. Again, to reduce some pressure on the top of the frame. But the trick here is, of course, because I'm doubling back on this and it's weaving, I need to make sure this weave is the same as the second to top one, and then do the opposite weave for the next one. First bit of tension this one. Sometimes we run out of string just here. Yeah, doing this is easy to forget the tension. That one that I just did, I've done that a couple of times. The other thing it does when you clamp it, you're a little bit further from the top of the frame, which gives you more room for your clamp and more room to tie your knot, which is a good thing. Together. Again, so much wastage, so much. When I first started doing this, someone said to me, don't run out of string. At the end, it's the worst. I overcompensate. Not have been the best advice. That side a little bit there. And through. There you go. Need to do. Pull it up nice and tight. Pull this one up as well. Oh, that was lucky. Round too far. Off there. That off there. Bit more. And we're done. There we go, £27. That little tap that I do, that one that I mentioned earlier, that had a cracked frame, I didn't do the little tap. I was afraid it was going to break. Yep, ripper. Now I put my stencil on it. I don't think this is a very good racket. It's like it's all out of alignment. Like the holes don't line up or something. Anyhow, put my stencil on it and we're good to go. It's got a red grip. I might put red paint on this one. I'm starting to run out of black, so I'll find every reason to put red on it. To be perfectly honest, that wasn't the best stringing job I've done anyhow. For those that watched, fun. For those that didn't, that's okay. Looks like I got one like, that's fun. Yeah, that's stringing a badminton racket. I'll do another one a bit later. So, hi Janarge 13. Sarah Martin, hi. Does anyone play badminton? Anyhow, I'm going to turn it off now.